Thank you for joining me. The introit for Sunday, January 17th is from Psalm 40. I have not hidden your deliverance within my heart. I have spoken of your faithfulness and your salvation. I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. He drew me up from the pit of destruction, out of the miry bog, and set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Many will see and fear and put their trust in the Lord. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, who does not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after a lie. You have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts toward us. None can compare with you. I will proclaim and tell of them, yet they are more than can be told. I know that the process of waiting can sometimes be infuriating, especially when we think that which we are waiting for is going to solve a lot of our problems. The belief that the end of this pandemic will help solve the relational problems we were having, or perhaps the feeling of depression. I'm sure that during this pandemic, business owners and those who are struggling financially can have a hard time waiting for relief, especially if there are questions as to if or when that relief will come. The psalmist makes a statement in the introit. I waited patiently for the Lord. And what we know about waiting is that while we are waiting, there is a temptation to do something to help speed up the process. However, when we try to speed things up, sometimes we make bad decisions. Now, we might be able to recall the time when we made a bad decision because we were trying to speed something up. We might be able to look back on that situation and say, if I just waited, it would have worked out better. And the same can be said of our patience towards God. As hard as sometimes it is to realize, God knows what we need, and He has our best interests in mind. Patience tends to filter out a lot of contaminants. Patience has a way of better preparing us for God's answer. Patience has a way of making us ready for the action of God. And in that way, patience makes us vulnerable. Patience takes the control and the action out of our hands and reminds us that we rely on God. And amazingly, God will oftentimes allow us to learn that lesson the hard way by being patient to answer our needs. The psalmist states that in his patience, the Lord drew near to him. He says, the Lord inclined to me and heard my cry. The word inclined has a sense of extended towards, bent down. God centered his attention and focused on the psalmist. This action of God to bend towards him is what brings deliverance, and the psalmist needs deliverance from very real problems. He says that God drew him up from the pit of destruction, out of the miry bog. The psalmist is deep in his own thoughts and despair. It is God and his action that brings relief. And God does so by taking the psalmist out of the sinking places and puts him on solid ground. Consider the image given here. God set his feet upon the rock. He's no longer sinking, but placed upon a place that is high and secure. And I know that when there is something that we are struggling with, one of the perceived solutions is to take matters into our own hands. However, if we look for the solution to our problems within ourselves, we will be disappointed because we cannot fix what is wrong with ourselves. We can try to load up on self-confidence, but it will not keep the questions about worth and value at bay. We will keep sinking into that pit. We can search and search to find meaning and purpose, but it will not stop that sinking feeling. That sinking feeling we have telling us something is wrong. And as much as we might want to fix the problem, our God asks us to be patient with him. He has this. And when we are patient, we learn about the patience of God. and that in the right time, he answers everything. In fact, he just doesn't answer, but he changes our lives. The psalmist says God put a new song in his mouth. God has changed the entire attitude of the psalmist from sinking because of his problems to now singing a song of praise. Wait on the Lord. He will act. Thank you for joining me.